Claude. Okay, here we go. We're a bunch of bums right now because we have not recorded a goddamn thing since trade deadline, end of the season. But I do have to give Kraken credit. He's wearing an outdoor classic jersey.
Yeah, wearing the outdoor game jersey. I went there. That was part of why I was unavailable. Is I was on vacation for Christmas to New Year's and whatnot, and there were a couple days in there where I may have been able to get away from family and do it, but it just didn't line up very well with the year schedule, and we've just been back and forth. And even tonight, I'm gonna try and keep it short because I got to work tomorrow morning. So, but
I gotta work today too. Shit.
Yeah. But no, yeah. So I went to the game. It was pretty fun. I try and go to as many of them as I can, and or for at least the Wild and the Red Wings. And so I've hit pretty much all of the ones since I started going. So I'm from Minnesota, so I went up with the family and got tickets and went to the game. It was negative 10 degrees ish by the end of it, so it was a little chilly, but stayed warm. Had a lot of layers on, and then also the club seats, which had the warm corridor to go warm up in, which when I bought it, I was like, I'm from Minnesota. I know it can get cold. Just spend the extra money and just in case, and it paid off. So anyway.
All right. So now with the outdoor game as the theme right now, because we're going to go into happy thoughts before we get negative. What do you think about St. Louis players when they came off the bus? Thinking it was like summer vacation.
I mean, that's awesome. I mean, you got to play it up, right? Like, you got to have fun with it. Like, yeah.
I mean, it sucks that Minnesota lost, but I mean, like to come in with that like fuck you swagger, like it's definitely well worth it.
Yeah, I mean,
because it was a good game where I watched it.
Yeah, you're outside for all of 10, 15 seconds. Like, I saw people in the stadium shirtless. So, like, I'm sure you can go out there and beach wear. Like, it's a little sting real quick, but, it's not like any different than walking into a freezer or something like that. But, yeah, I don't know. Especially if they're hockey players. So most of them grew up in a cold weather climate and probably have felt those temperatures many, many times. So.
But, I mean, I don't think anybody's ever played outdoors at that negative temperature.
So that was the coldest outdoor hockey game or coldest hockey game ever. There were two football games that one was about the same temperature, but they said it was slightly colder, and the other one was a little bit colder. Now, wind chill, there's been a couple, at least one hockey game that had a much lower wind chill, and then also there's two football games. Like one of them was like a negative 50 something with a wind chill, but it wasn't that much colder than the real temperature wasn't that much colder. But
all right, so let's jump into the season. All right.
Yeah.
Trade deadline. We waited to record for a reason. Y'all owners are a bunch of pussies. We were waiting for breaking news. We want to be TSN. Sports Center had the ticker on the bottom of the screen. So I'm trying to get mine right now. This is traded for who?
So no trades.
No trades.
There's actually a relatively low number of trades at all this season for one reason or another. I'm not exactly sure what it would be, but the trade deadline to be completely silent was kind of unique, but it is what it is. But kind of boring for our sake.
Well, I mean, it's boring in our sake, but as we talked beforehand, there was a couple players I thought would have been moved, and I thought I was going to be one of them. And we talked in a sense of my team is doing shit. Toronto was shit. I was on Dermott's Island. So if anybody knows, all of the Canadian players in the league, Dermott's Island he's not good enough to play, but the coach doesn't want to trade him because they know how good he is. But it was the aspect of I was good enough to play and you can get assets for me. But with the whole league being everybody makes playoffs, you don't want to always,
No, to be fair, the play-in, so no one's eliminated.
Nobody was eliminated, but it was in the sense that there might be a time that player, a team might be shit or ask me, hey, what players can we get to help make out the roster?
But you still want to have a solid team. And again, if no one's eliminated, you don't want to trade away all your key assets just to lose out. And then the whole no one's eliminated thing, that's one of the things I've pushed for, and I know it's a hot topic. One of my reasonings for it is every time I've seen outside of LG, any league with eliminated teams, if those teams are really struggling and no one's having fun, they just fold. And then you just have a bunch of forfeits on the schedule. Your only other option is to cancel games, or not cancel, rebuild the entire schedule, which is work. But that's also not fair to teams that played the team that sucked before, or that did not get as many games against the team that sucked before they folded, because now they're going to play tougher teams that when other teams got wins that were easier. So I don't necessarily believe in that. I say just it has to be forfeits all the way through, and don't rebuild the schedule. But rather than do that, it's just better not to fold teams. But when a team is absolutely struggling and has nothing to play for, it's no surprise they tend to fold. And so that was kind of one of my big things. And there's some talk about how do we do it in the future, because we do want to have some sort of an elimination. But my thing is, like, you have to find a way to do it where there's not teams out there with nothing to play for that suck, because who wants to play for that?
All right, so the reason why I thought my name would have been, thrown around for trade deadline was I think I'm a better known player. I'm a fucking drunk, don't get me wrong, but you could get assets for me. And our biggest problem with Toronto was we were forfeiting a lot of games. We didn't have enough active players. Or
There
we
actually weren't
did.
many. I don't think you guys forfeit that many, but there weren't
No,
many
at the
forfeits
trade
in
deadline,
general.
we
But
fucking forfeited like 2 or 3 right back to back.
oh,
So it was in a sense of the management did stupid shit. 2 out of 3 management, I should say that, did stupid shit or were inactive. But I'm not going to get into that topic today. Well, that might be the off season, but it's more or less when you don't have many active players and people are gonna send multiplayer trades. Yes, we're a shit team, but it's people that have open availability. You got to take those deals sometime. As much as you lose a skill level, I would rather see a team play games compared to forfeit. I have to give a shout out to Philly. They got their asses kicked a couple times, but they did not forfeit as many games as we did in Toronto.
and
And
honestly,
even the management got in battles. They got in battles in the main chat, but they defended themselves saying, hey, it's our first season here. We don't know many people. Now we know more names, so we'll build for the next season if they're management again.
Yeah. So, and I'll add on to that. Like, they did a really good job with it. But one of the big things that, early on they stuck together, even though they were losing bad. They got better throughout the season. In fact, they beat actually both you guys and them beat us towards Detroit towards the end of the season, and they stuck through, made it through the plan, and then played us. And it was a 5-game series, so we won 3-0. But they took us to overtime in one of the games. They were actually, able.
But the roster wasn't as deep as yours. So I mean, let's get into it. Both
But
the
it was
lower
actually
seed
the second
teams.
line that took us to overtime.
So we're gonna jump the gun, because we're trying to keep this short. Both the underdogs for the play-in games won. So Toronto won, and so did Philly.
And some of that comes down to we're trying to, to use a DVET's term, parity or whatnot, but we try to build up the lower teams. It's not a reward for sucking per se, but we'd rather have a more competitive league in general. We're not just trying to have teams that just absolutely dominate and other teams that are trash and only get worse because they have to get rid of their good players towards the end of the season. Whatnot, because that's no fun. No one wants to just play beat 'em up games all the time. But so hopefully some of that adding on of skill through the way that the late signups worked and everything helped get those teams to that point with that they were actually more competitive towards us, and then again in the playing games. So I'll let you go.
I mean, I like the way that the late signups work. It does suck because in a sense that you got some good players that sign up late, and it's like your TC sometimes. If they're not playing, they're not going to answer. They might ego you, but luckily in Toronto, a couple of late signups did answer. So, I think that's what happened in Philly.
Malton's Falcon was one of them. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Falcon, those guys are like, all right, I don't give a shit. I want to play. But imagine if you can trade those guys too. Like, it's a catch-22. It's you have to make those late signups play a certain amount of games. In my opinion, I feel like to move them.
Yep.
But after you sign up after a certain week, then you can't move them. But
Yeah. So there's some things in terms of that we're working on and we're discussing a little bit in staff in terms of like, how is there a certain, the first couple rounds of late signups still have some eligibility to be traded if they played more a certain number of games, which would be more games than anyone else needs to play before being putting a trade request. But there's some finite details that we're still working with in staff. We'll talk about in the off season and come out with. But we're definitely working on alleviating a little bit of that and discussing whether there is some ability somewhere for some of the late signups to trade.
I mean, like for my
There's a
team,
time and
right,
place where it works.
Falcon, he put his availability in, Maltese Falcon, Peter, because as everybody knows in IOHL, he joined, Glizzy and them. He wasn't on the mic much when he was playing for us because, he was weaker. But when he was playing with Taglia and Gopher Sully, and we're playing in that, the play-in game, he was talking a little bit more, but he was still like reserved, quiet, because he knew he was, unless we got shit
He's
record.
always quiet on the mic though. First, he's one of those guys who in the Discord, and lately not so much, but is super talkative. And then you get into, I've been in parties with him many times, and he doesn't talk as much a lot of the time. So it's just, I think, how he is.
No, but I mean, like I don't blame people like that, but like he was willing to play. He didn't care what position as long as he's playing. Like
Yeah.
he knew when he signed up late, and you see the rules. I can't get traded. It might be a shit team, but he's putting his availability in. And
Yeah.
at first, our owners, because I can't tell you what week it was that he was there, because we've had 2, 3. They don't realize who he is and how good of a player he is. So a lot of times, we got the roster players. They can play this. Sometimes you need to play your fucking late sign-ups and your TCs because they might be better than your rosters, and you don't know who they are. So give them a goddamn chance.
Yeah, or ask around. Like, if you're in management, you have to know who you're actually getting. Because if you got a diamond that you don't realize you have, then yeah, and he's a good player. And his attitude this year was the best I've seen of it, dealing with all that and everything, and playing through it. Because everyone knows he can at times.
No, we were on a shit team. Like
yeah,
Falcon, I'm not taking a shot at you at all. Like when I bring this up, even like Sully and Taglia, like a lot of the trades we made from the beginning were useless.
Mm-hmm.
But Sully and Taglia, they're like, all right, yeah, we were on a better team, which actually we beat them because they were on Seattle. But they were all talkative, all that, unless Taglia was like streaming games, so he wasn't trying to get the echo in his mic, but he would put it down. He would talk and be like, all right, boys, I gotta look for this, like, good pass that, and then just go right back. Like, like my Xbox headset is right here. So like my mic is fuck it, bitch, of course I gotta cut. So it's like this, it's mute here, but it's like he'd go from here to like here. It's like, all right, boys, like, he'd admit, like, we're playing good, like, we got it, like, let's keep trying all that shit. So
yeah,
you just gotta give. It's a video game.
Yeah,
none of us are getting paid for this money.
wow, schlucky, but that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story. We got to bring it up in the off season. And
I mean, I don't.
Speaking of that, okay, congratulations to Korea. I think he went a week. How long has it been since he got off mute?
Yeah, I think it was the 3rd. So yeah, it's about a week.
It's about a week. Congratulations. You haven't gotten yourself muted again.
Yeah. I have to find a new song for him.
But he's funny as shit. I mean, I love playing with Korea. If you can get him at a certain time. If we can't get him on the I mean, I wish I can get him on the podcast if it was nobody's going to judge us or shit, or we can't get in trouble. Because he would be probably as many drinks deep as I am right now with no filter.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, if I could do this and just be ruthless, yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I just had two closing thoughts on other things we talked about. So with Maltese Falcon, I mean, I think in the past he's had a reputation that he might ego, but honestly, he's a great dude, and I don't mean to take a shot at him. I think he may have that reputation. So to see him like he really
It's like
knocked out of the
Primo.
park.
It's like
Yeah,
Primo. Like he
he talks a
defended
lot.
himself.
Yeah,
Like, I took shots at him on
yeah,
this, but come on, he trolled us. He fucking bullshit. He trolled us, but I can only joke around about that. It just makes me smile. It's like, oh, when you said he messaged you saying, I didn't realize my name was that, but
yeah.
just
No, I
bullshit.
think he was serious about that. And then the other funny thing about that comparison is that's kind of like Maltese Falcon. He's quiet on the mic, but in the chat, like I don't know, just how some people are. Like Primo again, we brought him in. He was kind of quiet in here, but he still said his piece, but he sat around a little bit more quiet than the rest of us. And but in the chat, talking all the time. But yeah, that's a pretty good comparison. So
I
the
mean,
other thing I was gonna say was like with Philly getting stronger towards the end of the season, like picking up guys like Heisman and a few other guys that were a little better than their initial roster. Like Voodoo Dabber's a solid player. He's kept scoring on me. Son of a bitch. Anyway,
well, it's because
no,
you're a
but like
Civ. Jesus.
yeah, no, only against Philly for some reason. Oh, and the first game was fine, but anyway, so no, that kind of leads to some credence of you do, especially if you're gonna go for a playoff run. Like, okay, yeah, Toronto may have taken a few forfeits to not trade you, but at the same time, if they're thinking we need him for the playoffs and we're probably not moving in spot in the rankings, so we'll bite the bullet on this one. We'd like the skill level, and they like having you on the team. I mean, the one thing, like, okay, there's Chicklets I've heard mentioned a few times is like whenever someone's traded, a lot of people look at it as that team didn't want me, but you can look at the other way and it's that team wanted me. And so like when you weren't traded, that's something to think of is that the team wanted you around. So
Right.
while that, so I would
You
just take that as a positive.
yes and no. See, what I'm gonna say is, well, now it's past trade deadline, and with me and you being co-host,
Yeah.
I did message, and yes, technically I requested a trade too late, but I did message TFA. I love TFA. TFA is my boy,
Yeah.
and I'm like, he was doing most of the shit all season between both management groups. He was the one keeping the fucking ship afloat. And I'm like, TFA, I'm not requesting a trade because I don't want to play and we've got a shit record. But we were having people like just, ego us, fucking no name people.
Yeah.
Just ego us and didn't want to show up and play it. I said, I know I'm a better known name player. So I'm just asking that to make sure you guys get more active players.
Yeah.
And TFA is like, I know, but I can't do it right now because, I'm not owner.
Yeah. Well, and again, but at the same time, TFA may have been able to discuss that with them or whatnot. But if Reaper wants you on the team, then Reaper wants you on the team, and it's like it's one of
No, I know.
seeing as being wanted, and that's not necessarily a bad thing too.
It's not a bad thing, but like what I'm saying is, when you have, I don't know how to put it nicely, like without giving up too much information. When that people have been asking about you, not player tampering, I'm not at all, but with our record, how shitty it was, and a lot of people know it. So of course they don't want to see me fucking sit there and suffer. Yeah. They're trying to fucking get me to help, other pieces. Like they want me for their team. I'm not that good. I'm a fucking degenerate. Yeah, I'm still sitting here drinking 341 on a Monday morning.
But at the same time, Reaper wanted you, so it's like so.
But no, so it was.
It means you're a guy that people want around. And
yeah, I mean it's good for that, but
you don't want to be.
But I mean sometimes like when people are trying to overpay, like for a fucking player, like you take them sometimes because in the long run, you might need the fucking player and say, hey, I know I'm shitting on you right now. Can you help me out in a year or two, like another season, different league, or it's try says. your better players. You got to be straight up honest with.
Yeah. Well, and then I'll say this too. The other thing is they knew you, and they knew you to not necessarily be an ego and things like that, and they may have feared mixing things up and getting egos and things like that. So they were content with what they had. I mean, it sucks, but for you, but at the same time, it means that you're a good guy. I mean, and that you're the guy people want on the team. Like you're not, you know what I mean?
Do I gotta
Like as
start
much as
being a
that sucks.
cancer? Jesus Christ. I'm already fat. Fucking people make fun of me, tell me to go fucking scream aside, go take a shower, cut my hair. Jesus, I'm already getting picked on by my own twin brother. Like, what the fuck? Might as well,
But
as Papa Roach, cut my life into pieces. It's my last resort. And I can't even say that because I've partied with Papa Roach when I partied with Godsmack.
oh, you've partied with Papa Roach too? I partied with Papa Roach once.
Oh, dude, that guy, the lead singer, I don't know what his name is, but have you seen him like within the past like
What?
3 to 5 years?
He's changed his life around because I think he's like, I don't know, he's born again or whatever. But like, he's
So much
got
plastic
to the point where
surgery. He looks
well, that
younger
too,
than me
yeah,
and you
yeah,
combined. That's what I mean. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
he's older. He's older than both of us, but it's
So,
like
so
he's like
yeah,
this. He's like fucking like I'm
the
15 years
whole
old.
face tatted up and whatnot. Yeah. What's the funny thing? So that band is actually from Vacaville, California, and I moved to California in 2011, and I have a house in Vacaville. It's a block from downtown, and they came back in 2015 and played a hometown gig at it was like a little theater in the downtown, right? 600 people fit in it and whatnot. And then, so a couple friends of mine met, there's a lot of family and friends, met some of the family, and they were like, hey, we really like you guys. Come to the after party. It was like literally just family and friends and us. And they debuted the music video for one of their next single, which became a big hit and whatnot. And so, like 2 months later, I started hearing it on the radio. Gravity, I think it was, but yeah. So they showed us like a working copy of it. I don't know if I was supposed to mention that because I think they were set on to, but it's like 5 years ago now, 7 years ago, so I don't think it matters.
But
Anyway, but no, so it was really cool. And then like 2 3 months later, I start hearing it on the radio, and it's just like, and then it starts getting bigger and bigger, and you're hearing it all the time. You're like, oh wow, this is freaking awesome! Like I've heard this song from the it was the lead singer and one other member were there, but not every, I think one member had swapped the was there was not a local, but so the lead singer was really just a local. He put it on for us and like whatnot. It was like, and they had pizza and whatnot. I think he's gone sober. It's like, well, I'm gonna say he's changed a bit. Like I think he partied too hard and he's
I
sobered
think
up
his
and
name's
whatnot.
what, Jacoby, isn't it?
Jacoby, yeah, Shaddix,
Yeah.
Jacoby Shaddix, but
Yeah.
completely random. I know, and I know that they get a lot of there's a hit or miss crowd on them, but I liked them way back. It was like seventh
So
grade or
I'll give
whatnot.
you a fun fact,
So
like
it was my
because of
childhood, like
with Godsmack
yeah.
is I've skated with Robbie Merrill,
Uh-huh.
and they're at the time was their lead sound tech guy, like the one
Mhm.
that's always in like that fucking center
Mhm.
was his name's Scotty Kachuk,
Oh, yeah.
Keith Kachuk's cousin.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So he had a good career. Like I played a couple of men's league skates with him, and I had I met him through when I was working with the Syracuse Crunch. Because he was boys with the guy in Binghamton.
Mhm.
So with Robbie, the lead bassist for Godsmack, I'm like,
Yeah.
hey Robbie, like, and Scotty, like, do you guys want me to tell everybody in my skate who you are or what? Like, playing the sled car. And Robbie's like, have you seen pictures of like Robbie? Like he's a fucking like skinny fucking frail
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck that. Tell everybody who I am. I don't give a shit. I don't want anybody to tomahawk me. Like, I gotta play the show tomorrow and all that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I ain't playing the fucking sled card for you because I don't want everybody to know. It's like, hey, this is who this is? You know who this motherfucker is? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm only playing the sled card because you told me to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's like, oh, dude, if people know who I am, they might think twice before they hit me. Because I mean, that's kind of an intimidating band. I mean, they did beat up Story of the Year, I think it was, or who the fuck ever that was. They beat up some band.
No, but it's like, I've been around celebrities and stuff like that. Some will want to be like this,
Oh yeah, exactly, hidden.
like undercover, like they don't want people to know who they are. But I'm like,
yeah,
I was driving them and all that, like both. I'm just like, do you want me to say what's going on? I mean, my brother knew who it was and a couple other people.
Yeah.
But Robbie's like, no, I don't want anybody. I gotta work tomorrow. I mean, we all in men's league skate, we all have to, but like, somebody is in my men's league pickup skate, fucking tomahawks, breaks his wrist.
Yeah. They may think twice before doing it, knowing who he is, because they're like, "Yeah, fuck, I don't want to do that to that guy."
No, but Robbie Merrill and Scotty Kachuk were all good. They're like, anybody wants to take pictures with us, like we're all good for it. Like, they weren't like that typical arrogant asshole. Like, yeah, I'm a celebrity. I'm part of a celebrity group. Like, fuck you guys. So
yeah. See, the most recent closest thing to a celebrity, probably shouldn't even mention this, was literally the police officer in one of the national news police shooting teams on my team. I didn't know until after the fact, right? Like he didn't talk about.
So remember how I reached out to you? All right, we're talking about random shit.
Yeah.
So remember how during the week break, I tried to reach out to you saying, hey, when can we record? I've got like a real life, one of my buddies.
Yeah.
While it's during the holidays.
Yeah.
So my buddy played for Team Canada under the U18. And then I reached out to another guy that he's got a chance of being on the Switzerland roster for the Olympics. So like two different guys. So I'm just like, all right, time difference. Can we record? Can we record? It's gonna be funny shit. Like, let's talk about real life hockey and and let's talk about just the Xbox League. And they're both like, oh well, I don't play video games anymore, but my buddy that was part of the Team Canada one under 18s, but he's also dual citizen for Switzerland. If I was better at editing, his name's Tanner Richard. He was a fuck. I'll send you this clip. World Juniors, he's a good centerman, but he fucking got away with a goddamn sick cross check. Like back of the head of somebody. Tonight? Huh?
Like Dylan Larkin tonight?
No, like worse than Dylan Larkin. Like actually like fucking injuring.
Oh shit.
So yeah, no, I mean that was my buddy, and he was in quarantine because he's like his wife's from Detroit, so he comes there in the summers. He's like I said, he's got dual citizen because his dad played a good amount of his career in Switzerland, and he's Canadian. So
if I could play or live anywhere, it would be right around there. So that's a great place to play as a player, I'm sure. Anyway, keep going.
In Switzerland, dude, we'll have to book a trip. Me and you.
Yeah.
They'll take us out, dude. Well, no joke. First time you have to meet in person.
Yeah.
Be there.
I
got us a place to stay. And like I said, my other buddy, I call him a pussy because he he played a couple games in the NHL. But I called him Hitler's next victim. He was the blonde hair, blue-eyed, small little motherfucker. So I called him Hitler's next victim. His name is Joel Vermeen. So I was like, Joel, so you're gonna be part of the Olympics, right? You think I got a good chance to make it? I'm not sure. Like, he's that like quiet, reserved guy. I'm like, buddy, Switzerland doesn't have many fucking top players. With the NHL isn't going to be there. The NHL is not going to be there. You're going to make the roster. So I tried getting a gift for my dad. He knows my dad too because I was a equipment manager, and my dad would be like that. He wasn't like a super fan, but they all respected him because he would take pictures and just print them out and give them to players. Because you know, most pro hockey players or all that shit, they only see the ones that are online, so they don't get anything to make, you know, somebody make multiple copies to send the families back home. So like my dad had like a top of the line camera, and he'd just be like, I don't want anything here, just put them in their stalls and just let them know that I was the one that took them. So when I asked Joel, it's like, yo, can you you're probably gonna be on the Olympics compared to my buddy Tanner because he's not vaccinated. He's like, there's no way in hell did they choose me because I'm not vaccinated with this whole fucking COVID bullshit.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's a gift for my dad. Like, just get a team signed sticker of yours. I'll pay you whatever amount of money just for the Olympics. That's all I want. I would give him fucking $2,000 for it, just for a personalized gift like that. And you know, it's like a one of one. You know, this is a rare comedy. It's like, dude, you're stressing me out. Like, it's too confusing. I'm not sure I'm gonna make. Like, you bitch, just fucking do it for me. I'll pay you whatever you want. I'll buy your stick that it's already used, so your value goes down. He's just like, dude, I'm too stressed out. Like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, maybe he will come around to it or whatnot, or like, I don't know, like, or maybe there's certain stipulations and rules. Obviously, you've been in the industry.
So, all right. So, what I can say is, like I said, my buddy that I tried getting on, he plays on the same team. They play for Geneva. They're Geneva HC, whatever, in the Swiss league. If you're an import, you get all your equipment mostly free, like everything basically free. But if you're a local, like if you're Swiss, you know, Swiss native, all this, it costs them $300 for a stick if they were to get. Well, like I said, I was an assistant equipment manager in the AHL. The same stick that would cost maybe $115 on the team payroll costs them $300 US. But they give all the imports free shit. Wouldn't you think that there's 4 or 5 imports on the team? You would take care of your national players first? Like, what the fuck is wrong with that?
If your national players have less options and your imports can choose where they go a little bit more. Sometimes, usually.
It's like you're paying them more money just to fucking come play for you. The least you can do is like your homegrown players, give them fucking free gear.
Yeah. But so one of the best nights of my life was in Switzerland. Amazing people. Met some locals that took me out for a hell of a night. It was a really good time.
Neutral.
And then
here, wait.
I would love to.
I got a neck. Neutral. Sorry.
Yeah. It's literally, I went to the bar, I said, I'm gonna get one drink, and these guys were like, you're not drinking alone tonight, you're drinking with us. I had a 5 a.m. train to catch. They took me out the entire fucking night. I was gonna take, a beer or two and then go to bed. Nope, I partied the entire fucking night. It was awesome. And then so I would love to go back to that area and just like it's amazing. It's beautiful. I was gonna say, what was I was gonna say? See,
this is the problem with us. We're like, we're gonna keep it short. We're gonna keep it short. And we always get sidetracked about real life hockey.
So here's another random tangent. In that same area, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I've met Peter Nedved, and so like Peter Nedved, and then I met like Thor Halfhorn, the guy from the mountain from Game of Thrones. I may have mentioned this before too, but like
no, you didn't. You didn't mention that at all.
Okay, so meeting those types of people in Europe, though, I feel like unless they're a soccer player or the royal family, right? Those types of people in Europe, like, just love to like meet you and talk and chat and whatnot, and like they're both really cool about it. So it's like
it's not like over here. It's
like
like
a different culture.
The paparazzi, all that shit is heavy here.
Unless you're a soccer player or the royal family. But
so I never brought up this story. Like when I was working with the Crunch, so in the US, ridiculousness is huge here, right? So we had a scavenger hunt in New York City because we played in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and Bridgeport to New York City is about 20 minutes. So we did a scavenger hunt. Like you had to get New York style pizza. If you got a tattoo, like 100 points, like whatever team. It was grouped by teams. If you met a celebrity, like, got to take a picture, 100 points. So we happened to go into a bar, and my team was Dalton Smith, who was a second or third round pick of Columbus. He played a couple games in Buffalo. Now his current team is the Colorado's farm team. Colorado, what the new what the fuck?
I have no clue. Colorado's farm team is. That's like one of the people I don't.
No, it's a brand new team. That's what I'm thinking. I can't think it was what it is, but Jonathan Marshall, he was on my team, and who else? Mike Angelides, who was a AHL veteran, played a couple games in the NHL, but he was an absolute warrior. So we ran into Stilo from Ridiculousness. And then we also ran into my girl from Blue. I've never seen the show, Blue Bloods. But it was the short, cute, like, her hair type was like mine on it. I don't know what her name is, because I didn't even know she was a goddamn celebrity. So when we asked her, hey, are you such and such from Blue Bloods walking on the street? She said, yes. Like, gave us like one word answer, like, hey, can we take a picture? We're doing a scavenger hunt. We're a pro hockey team. Where's this picture going? Like, just, no, we're doing this just for us.
Yeah.
You promised. So I had to fucking pull out my AHL card because none of the players had anything like that. So it's like, and this season, and I'll bring the card next time we do a podcast, because it's at my parents' house. It's like, in this season, AHL can get into any game, like this and that.
Yeah.
So she was like, but it was in the middle of winter, so she like had like a fucking perk, like 6 different layers on. She's worried about where's this picture going. I'm like,
I mean, I understand
fucking
a little bit about
overdressed, bitch. It's not like nudes or anything. Like, what the fuck
exactly,
are you worried about?
Well, so this is the Peter Nedved he was doing a practice, and like the dude who ran I bought a jersey. The dude who ran like the equipment thing was like, oh yeah, if you go out in the parking lot this time, he'll be out there because he'll be getting done with practice, and like, you say hi or whatever, like he won't care. So I did, and he was like, oh dude, I was starving. I literally think if I had said I was hungry, he would have been like, I got food at my place, let's go. Like, he was just that cool of a dude. But he signed the jersey, and this was pre-selfies. So I think I may have had it was like 2008. So I may have had a smart enough phone, but like it may have been just after flip phone.
It's like so long ago. It's like you sit there. It's like somebody asked me.
I wish I'd had a picture.
Somebody asked me today. It's like, how long ago did you work at this? How long ago was you worked at this place? I'm like, 3-4 years. Like, I'm fucking sitting there like trying to think. It's like, I don't pay attention to dates, but I mean, I got all these photos in, like, because I have an iPhone 12 Max Plus, and I'm recording on a MacBook, so like all my photos are sitting there. So I'm like scrolling like this. I'm like, I know it's here soon. I'm scrolling all the way to my phone.
Yeah, well, like, so actually, I do have a picture of Peter Nedved's Land Rover, but I never. So I took that with my phone, but I don't think I took a selfie with him, which would have. Again, it was pre-selfie, so it was like, and I don't know why I wouldn't have asked for a picture with him, but I just didn't. I have a picture of his Land Rover with license plate Nedved from Czech Republic, but then the other one, so the Hathor, it was the same trip that I had to Switzerland.
All right, so I gotta show you. Remember how I talked about this?
Yeah.
All right, so you see how blurry this picture is? That's me, Stilo, Mike Angelides.
Oh yeah.
This is in my crunch.
But so I'm
gonna show you, like, so it was, everybody took the pictures off my phone. And there's all right, I'm gonna but it's like, you motherfuckers, like, somebody takes pictures for you,
Mhm.
and of course, your shit comes out clear.
Yeah, because you took the picture for them, it's clear, but their picture that they took for you is not.
What I mean, my phone is better than theirs at the time, and
Yeah.
so that was the fucking blurry. Oh shit!
Maybe that's why. That's why we do selfies. So you take the picture of yourself with your own damn phone.
No, this is before selfies was a goddamn thing.
Okay.
Oh shit! I'm right around it. Sorry, don't mean.
But no. So while you're looking, so this is how cool like again European like just meeting people is. So when I met Thor, it was like that same trip as the Switzerland trip. I did 10 days I think in Iceland first, and I was boarding the plane to Iceland. I literally said the one person in the world that I would like to meet right now is him. Is literally the thought that I had in my mind like a week before that. I'm in the plane about to get on the plane, and I see him in the terminal. And at first I'm like, is that really him? And I'm like, I literally stepped out of line. I was next to board the plane. I stepped out of line. I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, yeah, it is. And so I go up to him. I don't realize because this is right when AirPods started coming. I don't realize he's got a thing in his ear that he's talking to someone on the phone. And I say hi or whatever, and he's really cool about it. And I was talking to someone else, and they're like, oh yeah, dude, like he's the biggest name in Iceland, but Iceland's so small, we see him all the time, so it's not a big deal. So he's cool about talking to anyone. I was like, oh man, it's just like a completely different culture. Like, yeah, but
Yeah, like European shit is so different than here.
and then
I
so
mean,
the other story.
we
Go
want to
ahead.
talk about. All right, remember how I said my buddy was in quarantine?
Yeah.
This they did this on like from this is 2014. This would have been my boy, like the one that would have joined us. But what?
Yeah.
He's playing in Switzerland. But it's
So
just a fucking shit show. Same guy. Like, dude, he literally was the king at betting on who would do who could untie his skates and shit. So like he'd make bets, and then he'd also fucking bet people money. It's like, all right, $20 you can't beat me twice in a row. They're like, all right, deal. All right, you gotta buy me drinks the next night. All that little stupid shit.
um
I'm still scrolling.
so we were talking music before, and I
All
was
right, we gotta
gonna
look at this
mention
one.
this. All right.
Sorry, this is
There you
actually
go.
one of my buddies. We were playing beer pong. This was
He's
a
got
beer pong tournament.
pads on.
You see it,
Wow.
right? He's got
Wow.
the helmet,
Yeah. The knee pads, the helmet. He's ready to
helmet and
go.
knee pads, and fucking just like, oh god. And the guy that was next to him was Jimmy Howard's cousin, legit Jimmy Howard's cousin. I
So
partied with Jimmy at his wedding. That's why I know.
that's awesome. That'd be sweet as hell party with Jimmy. Oh, he seems like an interesting but different dude. He
With Jimmy
seems to be
Howard?
prototypical. Yeah, he seems to be a prototypical typical goalie, which is like a little different, but
All
same
right,
time.
I'm gonna embarrass myself right now. This is legit. This is November 2nd, 2014. I'm embarrassing myself. So people get this late in the podcast. I'm gonna embarrass myself.
Oh wow.
You can tell honest condom man. You see the fucking domer on my head?
Ah man. Did you get put up for that? Is that like a dare or like a fucking like?
No, I literally bought that as a joke for the Halloween. And I would
Oh yeah.
the only person I like there was a it doesn't well shit, no, I don't want that.
Whoa.
No. All right. So I'm trying to get the glare off it.
Yeah.
So the one that I grabbed the titty of is Slater Cuckoo
Uh-huh.
and Dylan Blugis. But if you could see like right near the bottom, it's like a black little case. It's like
Uh-huh.
it was the fanny pack of it.
Ah.
So the only thing I would do for that Halloween, and this was 2014, I ran around to all the married couples and fucking ran around, give them all condoms, have safe sex. All the ones that had kids and all that. So, I had to fucking be just a wise ass about the whole shit.
That's funny. So I was gonna say the other we were talking music, the band, Godsmack Ball, which is fucking way bigger than what I was gonna say, but if you know the band
Here's
Orgy.
the picture I wanted to say. So, all right, that was.
Yeah.
So the guy that's this one,
Uh-huh.
he was. His name's Kevin Lynch. So then we go from this one, Marshall, Stilo, Dalton Smith. Who Dalton Smith's uncle?
Yeah.
Wayne and Keith Primo.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
So he's got hockey in his family.
For sure.
And he's a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Man, that's hockey families. Or you get the Kachucks and the Primos.
Dude, I
You
just
just need
know
the Sutters.
I just know people, I guess.
No, so I was gonna say the band. So my band connection is the group Orgy, and so I went to one of their concerts in LA, and I paid extra for the VIP because I was like, well, okay, I'm gonna fly all the way to LA to go see him. And the lead singer's dad is the manager, and he's become close friends with me and like whatnot. And so like they took good care of me one time. I went to one of the concerts. My truck got locked in the garage. I actually missed work because of this because the garage locked. And I didn't realize it was a parking garage. And like after a certain time, it was just done. And I was just hanging out with the band. And they're like, dude, just hang on the tour bus with us. And so I did. And like literally, they're bringing back the groupies and whatnot, and just having like whatever. And like actually, there was two bands on the bus. It was more the other band, but just hanging out with them on the tour bus. And then the lead singer's dad, who's the manager, is like, I think you're a good influence. I'd love to have you on the tour with us. So if you ever get a chance, let me know, and I'll get you set up to do the tour with us and just ride along the whole way. And I was like, oh fuck, I kind of got it. I wish I could get off that much time of work.
It's like nowadays. It's like, yeah, how much you paying me?
Yeah.
But do you know the band, the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus?
Yeah.
Kid, it's high school. She wasn't in high school. I should say middle school. Like I don't know. Our schools here in my town were fucked up. So like if we had preschool to fourth, fifth to seventh, eighth and ninth were a school, and then 10th through 12th.
Interesting. That's weird. That was fucked up.
Well, my my school is a big city school, one smaller suburb, like a big suburb, smaller one. Famous athletes we've had: Brianna Stewart, Patrick Corbin, Washington Nationals pitcher. Brianna Stewart's fucking probably the best female player ever to play.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, yeah. So we had which I went to school, and he was a year younger than me. So it was probably till like between third to eighth, ninth, with Josh Burke, who's now the lead guitarist, bassist, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
Oh, yeah.
And they found him because they did a local show, and the lead guitarist or bassist guitar sing broke. So he was like, that heavy nerd, like he's been on it, like YouTube, all that shit, before TikTok, all that. So he shredded a little bit as they were fixing the string on the other, the guy that was on the band at the time. They said, "Oh, you got 6 skills." So like, yeah, we got you. So, but
awesome.
that kid's unreal guitar player.
Yeah. I see my
so we gotta get back to this league. So all right, so we already talked about somehow my fucking bitch ass team.
Yeah, they made it through the plan, and then you know didn't quite make it past Ottawa, but
So I have to say, my fucking dumbass management decided we're gonna fucking reach out to people who are on our rosters and we're gonna rearrange it. So rearranging means Pastor Gaines, this is not a shot at you. Pastor Gaines played one game with us in the regular season. Barry's, both these guys are better than me. Don't get me wrong. They're on a TC. I don't know shit about them. I know they're great players. Don't get me wrong. But they decide because we win in the playing game with Sally, Randy's, I fucking damn it, and Falcon. They're gonna fucking stick to them. When I said playoff rules, which me and you talked about, there isn't that rule in here. But you shouldn't do the same lineup twice in one night in a playoff series. My personal opinion. And it proved wrong. Well, it actually proved wrong and proved me right. Because we got our shit pumped in the next series by Ottawa. Because they split the fucking. If everybody gives you an open availability for a best of 5, best of 7s, you don't want them to know what fucking lineup you're using. You got 2 good lines. I mean, what's your opinion?
yeah. So you're saying have one line play the first game and one line play the second game, and then just do that in both nights?
No. So what they did was the same fucking line, both nights, same line.
So, yeah. So they can only play 3 total. Well, so they can't play
in the
every
best
game.
of 5. Yes. But what I'm saying is, against Ottawa, like, all right. So we already got past that. My team beat Seattle or whatever.
Yeah.
Philly beat whoever.
Philly beat Seattle. You guys beat Columbus.
Okay, both those teams should have beaten both our asses, but we got lucky.
But again, like I said before,
it was a one game. That was a 1 game series.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get lucky. You throw your best players out there, but everything else, you've split your goddamn lines up. You do not want to go 0-2 on the night.
Mm-hmm.
My team went 1-1. Where's Ottawa? First night on the best of 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the point I got to call out my jackass of an owner. Reaper, why the fuck did you call out our goalies? Slow Gazelle, I'm not calling you out. But you said all our goalies are irrelevant. They don't answer. But my favorite liar is wait for the tag, and it did not help. Before the playoffs, we had the week break off.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole team chat was dead. It's not like the Rangers, your team. Probably people are trying to fucking get together and play. My team, nothing. So what's the lineup before we go to the playoffs? You're a shit team because you do not get people to play together. And you expect the best when it comes down to playoffs. You got to play together all season. Right? There's a lot of times you might not have the best talent, but if your players know how to play together, it fucking wins games. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, so you're saying that like there was no chemistry there because you're just mixed up lines.
We did not have chemistry all season.
Yeah.
We traded a lot of people. We flipped a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. We did. There was probably 4 or 5 people all season that were there from the beginning.
Yeah.
We didn't even have a goddamn logo.
But you're saying that in those after the first night you guys split, and then this who played the second night? You're just saying like it was all the talent was on one line and not the other, or how? I don't exactly get what you're
So
saying.
all right, so we made the trade for it was Sully, Taglia, and
Yeah.
Anytime you trade, and this is not a shot at Reaper because he did not make this move, but it was stupidity. They tried playing Falcon, Taglia, and Sully, which would be a good for the play-in, which worked.
Yeah.
But for the playoffs, first night they went 1-1. It was Falcon, Sully, and somebody else, TC Randy's. I can't remember what the fuck his name was. But Taglia and Sully are good players. But when you trade 10 ply and another guy for 3 pieces, and then you fucking don't do shit with the pieces that you get for them, it's on your management. 10 ply is a great player. And they traded Jay Sawyer. Oh, what the Jay Sawyer? If Gotri was here, you could tell us. But basically, whatever they fucking traded for 10 ply, the second or third overall pick in the draft, and then you flip them a week later because you give them a trade request, it fucked their whole team over. You make a trade because Newfie's a fucking dumbass. Did not ask 10 ply, who do you want to work with? Who can we do?
Yeah.
Fuck their whole team for the whole season.
Yeah.
You've seen me in media staff chat saying our team is fucked from day one because of Newfie. You guys don't want to agree. Oh, sorry. But it's because I'm allergic to Newfie's bullshit. But when you fuck a team over with your top player, and we had a bunch of dumbasses, two that Newfie drafted. Oh, I thought this was old Chen.
Yeah.
We were fucked from day one. And I said that.
And you still did better than a couple of teams. So, I mean, I don't know. But, like, okay, so you're just saying, like, so in those games 3 and 4, what happened? Or, sorry, game 3. Oh, yeah, 3 and 4.
Oh, game 3? I can tell you what happened. Reaper said he was a goalie.
Yeah.
It's not a goalie.
Yeah, but I just meant with the lineup outside of that, like, because you had.
All right, Taglia not being able to make the first night, and he wasn't subbed out because of our play-in lineup. They thought splitting Taglia up because he wasn't in the first, play-in game with Sully, that if he could carry our offense. But the other forwards we gave him, school the blind. You can't expect a better named player to do shit.
So you won with you basically had a line 1 and line 2, and the line 1 split, and then line 2 just wasn't able to. So you would just say
we had better defense. Well, no, I shouldn't say it was better defense because I like Barry's and I like Pastor Gaines. They're better than me, but they didn't play jack shit for us all season. It was more or less we lost because our management didn't know how to do shit other than DFA. I gotta burp, get it out of my system, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't vent like this, but
so okay, so yeah, sounds like kind of a little bit of a shit show. But then on the other side we had Philly beat Seattle, and then they came in and played us, and then we went 3 games to none on them. They did take us to overtime in game 2, and I think we kind of top lined them in game 3. Like game 1 and 2, and we kind of spread out our stuff.
You can't in playoffs. You can't really say top line. If you guys split your first, like your different players you have, you can't say top line, or it's not if you're home team, all right, you get the line matchup. But if it's only availabilities available for the late game, you can't say top line.
Yeah, it wasn't really a top. It was more of a split of our top line, which is I think what you're kind of getting at, spreading the talent out. But there's a lot of different ways you can cut that as a management. But and in the end, we ended up taking the sweep in it, and then we moved on. And now to look forward, we'll be playing the Colorado. So we got Detroit Colorado matchup in round 2. So semifinals, kind of just like they did like 5 times between 1996 and 2008 before Detroit went to the East in like 2011.
So can I get signed up to be Darren McCarty? I'll be the Bosnian scrapper.
Right.
Is that
right. No, I think I can't take that role. I'll have to be. I'll be Vernon or Osgood.
No, you got to be Vernon. Vernon beat the fuck out of Patrick Waugh.
I'll take Vernon.
The one
Osgood's won more championships, but I'll take.
Because back to not it's a humble brag, but back when Grand Rapids won the cup here in Syracuse in 2011, 2012 for the AHL.
Mm-hmm.
Osgood was here and slugged it like the beers you get from the gas station in like fucking 30 seconds. He fucking shotgun one in front of me, but it was like this. Is like, and he fucking paid me $60. He's like, "Yo, thanks, buddy, for taking care of us." After they overpaid me because I was a visiting locker room guy at the time, but they overpaid me. He's like, "Dude, you're good. You're not giving me up." Fuck, that guy drank like a fish.
I could be Osgood. I don't know. Vernon's a little bit more classic though, and I think Vernon kicked that Waugh's ass more than Osgood did. So, but anyway, so yeah, we got that classic rivalry matchup going in, and it's kind of been a rivalry all season. In fact, it was kind of developing as a rivalry in season 1 too. So it's kind of funny how those two teams keep going back and forth.
Well, you guys have always had. Can't say it like as Toronto. You guys have good teams no matter what. You drafted good teams. Management did your work.
Yeah.
Korea, you might have fucked up paying Slarky. Slarky didn't play as many games as he should have. But shout out to you for paying a guy. Cheers. Korea, I love you. I know I talk shit about you all the time. And the only reason I can't get you on the podcast because you might get me banned off YouTube. Cheers.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a paid league at some point, but no. But yeah, so then on the other side of the house, we got Ottawa versus New York. So both those teams have been playing really well. So between all 4 teams, it's going to be a good semifinals and finals. I know the Aces matchup should be good.
All right, I'm not. You cannot say what you think your series is going to be.
Okay.
Who do you think wins out of Ottawa and New York? I don't want you to be biased. I mean, I'll give my honest opinion on both of them.
It's going to be such a tight series. Both those teams are pretty evenly matched in my eyes. I mean, you got Bardon Brad on one side. You've got Earth and Crew on the other side. There's a lot of talent on both sides. I think New York probably takes it. Dempsey sets up good teams, but Ottawa's going to be hard to beat. It's just maybe an availability thing might create a difference. And you got Trump versus Aces.
I've got to agree with you. New York takes it. Tries my boy.
Yeah.
But they it's bad. I don't know how to call out this person without fucking calling him out. He's not a good player. Jace Cush had fucking 5 points against us. When I played 2 games versus Ottawa in the best of 5 series, and I got my dick punched in 10-0 and 10-3 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I got my dick punched in for no goddamn reason. You're telling me I can't shut down Jace Cush, Verona, Lisi? I shut all those guys down. Cut across because we didn't have a stupid goalie. Because they said Lyre's dog shit.
Yeah, well, Lyre's not, but
and Reaper thought he was a better goalie because the week off. And the chat was dead because we never played together.
Yeah, I mean, We never played together either, but like, I don't know. It was
You
the
guys have more
holidays. People were
skill
taking
than
time
what
with
we did.
family and stuff. True. So, but anyway, so back to, I think.
So you're serious. All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you serious. It's not
Yep.
anything against you. Goche built like goddamn solid team, and
Yeah.
he made good trades.
Yeah.
He fleeced us for 10 ply.
Yeah.
So
I think our biggest challenge is that they've got the chemistry, and that chemistry might get a couple that may cause egos to trip on our side. We have to, people who, and there'll be rules for this, but people who didn't play much in the season are coming out for the playoffs. So we have a lot of talent, but we just have to put it all together, and I think they have it together. That's going to be the difference.
yeah, they've been all season compared to you guys coming out last minute.
Yeah,
I mean, it's no matter what, you're going to be fucking facing a challenge. You personally, as a goalie, is TBNK. I'm God's Jesus in 10 play.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who the fuck he throws your center. Somebody who knows how to pass the puck, or just me. I'm a defensive defenseman. I think I can play center with those two and still put up points. You let them do all the offensive work, and they'll look for you to get just a basic play. Like, all right, we're cycling the puck. You just tap it in. That's all you have to do. You just have to tap it in.
Yeah.
They do all the work for you.
Yeah.
But they're like, I love both those guys too, because even when I played hard against Jesus, TBMK, he was like, I'm sick and tired of you running around hitting my guy. I don't get many points on your side. I have to cut across and go to the other guys, take care of them, try and get my points against a weaker guy. I wish you were on my team. Like, that's it's like a humble brag. It's like, ooh, this guy's in the NHL. My work schedule doesn't work that way. So, do I take this as a win? I'm like, God, or what? Or does this mean like he's not trying that hard? He's trying to make me feel better.
Well, I gotta get running here pretty quick, but I just wanted to, before I do, give a shout out. Aces put out all the awards, so shout out to all the award winners. I'm not gonna read through all of them because it's all
Fuck
posted.
that. We'll do another podcast after this week. We'll make sure we get it.
Recap all that type of stuff.
But I gotta give a shout out to Philly though. Philly, you guys, your management is real MVP. I kind of hope there'll be management again, because it was a learning process.
Definitely got better.
Other than the little problem with what Pastry, Epcot, I don't think they did that bad.
No,
I don't think they forfeited many games. But they did.
And their biggest thing was, early on they had issues with that they were running a tight ship per se, and not everyone in Shell who's here for leisure and is here for have fun is got as much time to put into it, and especially on a team that's struggling. So there was a little bit of conflict of not interest, but conflict of personalities there that they dealt with early on. And once they got through that, and especially once they got some RAs that filled in the spots that they were able to have enough players every night, because they lost a few players to conflict of personality early, and then once they got through that and had enough players, they were solid and they won the play-in, and yeah, they were a good team. They beat us quite a few times. So, and yeah, so, but anyway, that's about all I got for tonight. Anything last words from you?
All right, I'm gonna end on this note because I'm gonna be negative. Fuck you, little kooks, and fuck you, Reaper. You're dog shit fucking owners and management.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, nobody makes it this long, so nobody's gonna see that other than the real MVPs. Have a good one, guys.
See ya.